Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We are running our live broadcast session called Halt Marketing Strategy for a Tech Startup. Welcome to join us. Today we speak about how to build the right marketing strategy, how to come through all the challenges related to marketing campaign development, marketing strategy development, and beyond. We will have two startup presentations today with our invited experts to help them to develop better strategies for market expansion, for marketing activities, and beyond. So today we have international team of experts joined us today, and as I said, to startup projects. So you are more than welcome to watch us live on YouTube Live and LinkedIn Live. In case you get any question, feel free to chat, and we will cover all these discussions today. So my name is Slava Branovsky. I'm the founder of Elegant Club and Elegant Accelerator Program, international expert, mentor, speaker, and today I'm your host and presenter. So before we start, I just want to also to highlight that this event in particular is one of the series of events related to our upcoming big project, our book projects. We work in collaboration with multiple experts from all across the globe. This book is called How to Build a Tech Startup. And this event in particular is one of the series of events related to this big book launch. Most of our experts joining our session involved in these projects, and we are happy to share you more. So in case you're interested to know more about our book, please visit the website howtobuildatechstartup.com. Equally, you can take a look at more Elegant Club activities at website elegant.club. And I'm happy to launch our discussion. So as I mentioned before, today the topic is about marketing, how to build up the right marketing strategy for a tech startup, especially at early stage. And for sure, it's quite challenging, especially at the beginning when there are no sales and there are no enough resources to drive marketing activities. So I would like to invite our invited expert, Giovanni Mule from Malta. And Giovanni is our frequent Elegant Club contributor, mentor, and expert who joined us from Malta. Giovanni, good evening. If you can introduce yourself and tell us a few more words about your experience, your background in marketing. Welcome to join our discussion. We cannot hear you yet, so please.
Can you hear me now?
All good now, yes.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Slava. No, it's a pleasure to be here. I have to say I am the founder of one e-commerce company called Tatara Razors, and we have struggled sometimes to, of course, to find the best marketing to use with the company. So that's why I'm here, and maybe I can help a little bit about these marketing strategies and what can we do, and also to share my challenges, because at the end of the day I still have challenges to face. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to go further on that, or we will go later on.
Yeah, let's wait for a while before our pitch presentation, but thank you for joining. So please stay with us and follow our conversation. We will have pitch presentations roughly in 30 minutes. But welcome to contribute to our discussion in the meantime. So thank you for joining. And now, as I said before, I want to invite Giovanni Mule from Malta. Giovanni, if you stay with us, please welcome to join our conversation. We cannot see Giovanni, yes.
Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, we can. We cannot see you yet.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Not yet. It's a blank screen, so if you can double check your video, your camera, so please join our discussion. And
I will try
while you're sorting out the camera, while you're sorting out, the first question I want to highlight, which is quite challenging for early stage startups, is how to make the marketing activities with zero budget when you don't have enough money and you really looking for starting some activities. So my first question would be how to start my marketing activities in a startup with zero budget. So if you can join our discussion, and please, we will wait for your lunch. And in the meantime, I would like also to introduce Rui Fonseca. Rui, good evening. If you can join our discussion, and maybe you also can introduce yourself and tell us a few words about your background and experience. Welcome.
Hello, Slava. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to be in this kind of networks. It's always important, and we learn always a lot. Well, my name is Rui Fonseca. I'm from Portugal. I am the CEO of a company named Altronics in Portugal, and I am the CEO of a company in Spain too. And I am a teacher in two universities here in Portugal, and I am a huge fan of sports. I am a surfer. That is something that I love. And basically, this is what is Rui Fonseca.
Thank you, Rui. Maybe we can start with just the beginning of our conversation, if possible. I believe at early stage of the business, it's quite often that startups, they simply don't have enough. They don't have money to facilitate some marketing activities, to pay some expensive ad campaigns, but they still want to start doing some promotion of the products, do some demonstration and beyond. So maybe you can give your advice looking back to your experience. How did you start your marketing activities at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey?
It's a very important question because principle for beginners and for something that is in a startup, my advice is you need to have a huge amount of innovation and creativity, because when we start a company, it's marketing is very, very important, and we need to do the impossible sometimes. So something like guerrilla marketing, for example, you need to be creative and make some campaigns of guerrilla marketing. But most of all, in my opinion, is you need to have a plan. If you need to stand up with a plan when you have a budget for that, that is already difficult. When you don't have a budget for that, it's more difficult. So a plan is very important, and you don't need a very complex plan. You don't need an Excel data to do that. You can make a plan in a napkin restaurant, but it's very important that you have a plan with actions that you need to do, with the budget. Even if it is a small budget, you need to plan where you will spend that budget, and in each action, what is the budget that you need to have in these actions that you are going to put in plan. And that is, for me, the most important. Even with a small budget, have a very well done plan with very good actions to do. I want to go from place A to place B. What I'm going to do to get to the place B, and what kind of money do you need for that? Even if we're talking about small money that is normal in a startup company.
Thank you very much, Rui, for your advice on how to make first steps. And just to follow up, because again, the marketing is a king of startup success and sales process. I also want to ask quite a kind of debatable topic, and maybe your opinion on that. And I think that some startups, they use this approach, or some of them not. And as you know, some entrepreneurs, they use power of personal brands and the way how they present themselves, maybe their professional background experience, to facilitate and to gain more attraction to the startup. So maybe you can give an advice if how do you use your personal brands to help to your businesses and to your companies in order to, again, to make more sales, more coverage and more recognition on the market.
Yes, Slava. It's very important because, like we talk in your last question, we don't have money. So we have a startup and we don't have money to do great actions regarding our segments, our target. So we need to impact this kind of target that we want to work in a very correct and innovating way, but we don't have money for that. So constructing your brand regarding your digital touch in these days is very important, because sometimes if you get the good context on social media, you can get a lot of you can go to your target, to your segments from social media in a very cheap way. What do you need for that? It's very difficult. Constructing a good personal brand in these days is very difficult. It takes a lot of time. It takes a plan for that, in my opinion. And we need to know that constructing a very good personal brand is something that we are going to work for 2 or 3 years to take some results. And one of the things very, very important, and in my opinion, is sometimes the problem, is that we need consistency. We need a very good consistency to construct our personal brand. And one of the things important is we need to construct our personal brand with the focus on results, because if you have a good personal brand in a digital world and you don't get results from that have impact on your product, on your marketing, on your company, that a useful work. So you need to create a personal brand that can have direct impact in your business, and that is difficult. And for that, one more time, you need, and this is the key, a consistent plan to do that every day. And in the last one, but not less important, you need, after consistency, you need to get good content for your followers. So, and that is something that gives a lot of work too. You need to have very good content to share with your followers, to share with your target, so that they can see some value on you. Because a personal brand without value doesn't mean a lot for me, in my opinion. You need to create value every day. And Slava, that is very difficult in these days. If we are talking about 10 years ago, everything was easier. In these days, that is a very hard task.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rui, for your contribution. And what we discuss here, it's quite challenging nowadays to build up consistent startup brands and the personal brands, and how to make that consistency is a very tough question. But we have also another expert to contribute to our discussion about how to build the consistency and how to build up the right and relevant content for your personal and startup brand. Giovanni, if you can stay, if you stay with us, please welcome to join our discussion. Giovanni Mule from Malta. Good evening.
Hi, can you see me now?
Yes.
Great. Thanks for having me, Slava. Okay, since I missed the introduction, I'm Giovanni Mule. I am a freelance consultant. I help startups and small and medium businesses and personal brands to develop their voice online, create content, and make more sales. Been doing this for the last four years, and I have experience with you, Slava, in the tech space and startup space. So speaking of personal brand, I would say that you, for example, did a great job, and it's shown on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram. you are consistent, you are focused, and that's the great proof that yes, it can be challenging, but I beg to disagree with what has been said before, in a way that I think that today it's actually easier than ever to build your own audience and to actually be consistent and create content. And yes, consistency is there as a challenge, but it's easier than ever to build your own micro personal brand that would actually help your startup, your business, or your professional persona in general to make more sales and make your own way in the business world. I think that the main challenge is definitely consistency. But when you have a big why, when you have a clear vision of where you want to go, I think that it's only a matter of being slightly disciplined and being surrounded by the right people to support you and create content and publish that, whatever the platform. I think that's my take for now.
Thank you, Giovanni. It was Giovanni Mule from Malta, our frequent Elegant Club contributor and expert in marketing. Giovanni, you can be surprised, and I'm happy to share that I've been invited to some of the big talks simply because someone did research of my profile on Instagram, which was surprisingly not LinkedIn and not a professional website, but still all of these social media kind of play a significant role in our even professional presence. And for sure, as we discussed, the personal brand can help to facilitate your startup activities. But what I want to ask you as well, especially at super early stage of startup development, do we really need to focus on startup brand development, or we need to pay attention to product development, to sales, to pitching our product to customers? Is it really essential to have some brands managed or sorted? Do customers pay attention to that at the very beginning, or we can take care about that later on? What would be your advice at early stage?
Well, as anything marketing, I think that it really depends on the context. It's a very context-based question. Indeed, I think that if you are a mechanic in a way, all you need to do is be a great mechanic, and people will talk about that. It's a business that works through word of mouth. But if you are selling online services, or you are a tech business, I think that since you have so much competition and customers and clients now have access to pretty much everyone on the net, I think it's just essential to build a personal brand in advance, so you can differentiate and show what is the difference and why clients or customers should even pay a slight attention of their time and clicking for your website or your Instagram page or your LinkedIn. And yeah, so I think that correlated to that, the story of the brand and of the startup and the founders themselves, I think matters even more than the actual font or colors used in the logo, because there is this misconception sometimes that a brand is a logo or a series of words and taglines, but I think that a brand really is the combination of stories that relate to that specific business and the people related to it. And yeah, exactly. You were saying that you were connected by Instagram and not even LinkedIn, but you never know. Maybe they found you through LinkedIn and then they connected to your website. Maybe they received a newsletter. That's the thing with marketing, that you do your job and then you let people follow through the processes that you are building.
Thank you, Giovanni. I completely agree with you, and I think a lot of people, they think that startup brand starts from the logotype, but probably your startup brand starts from your first handshake, when people see you as a founder and they have kind of own impression about what you are about and how do you present yourself as an entrepreneur and a startup founder. And as you're absolutely right, and thanks for mentioning that importance or kind of the order when exactly you need to build up your startup brand is also related to the context, to the industry, maybe to the specific of your business. And maybe, again, I know in past you dealt with multiple customers, whether they're businesses or some early stage startups. Can you give a little highlight? What is the difference between marketing activities and marketing plan for B2B sector and B2C sector? Because I believe it may also bring some different approach on how you use startup and personal brands to facilitate your startup sales and other marketing activities. What would be your reflection on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that fundamentally what needs to be always taken in consideration, and it might be known or a cliche in the startup world, but at the end of the day, we are selling to humans, to people. So it's always business to humans in a way. However, it definitely depends on what you are selling, because when it comes to B2B, so for example, if you are a SaaS business, such as selling software subscriptions and to companies to facilitate their databases or whatever else, if it's a tech business for businesses, you have to bear in mind that the founder or the person in charge to pick the startup to provide that type of service. So those clients are going to think strategically and rationally before they actually make a decision whether hiring you or buying your service. Different it is with customers and B2C. If you are selling custom made t-shirts with specific materials and so on, it will be determined by emotions for sure and not rationale. So I think timing there is super important, because when it comes to B2B and selling to businesses, there's usually a longer process that it's definitely helped with authority built up from branding, but it usually anyways takes longer than selling to clients directly, to customers directly, because they have to rely only on themselves whether to choose to buy something from you or not. And it's usually an emotional purchase, especially if it's not a high tag price. So yeah, I think that's the main thing to consider when it comes to either if you are selling to B2B or B2C.
Thank you, Giovanni. And also I would like to ask Rui to join our conversation about the power of startup brands and how maybe it can be used for gaining sales. And if somehow you worked out the startup brands at the very beginning of your companies, or it was something you developed afterwards. Please join our discussion if you can contribute to that, and that would be great to know your opinion.
Regarding the same question, the difference between B2C and B2B.
Yes, exactly. And how did you use the startup brands maybe to facilitate your sales as well?
Okay. Well, in my companies that I am CEO, we always work in B2B. We always work mainly with the industry. So my experience is very much on the industry. So we are talking about B2B. But I agree that in the end of the day, we are all humans. We are all in this crazy world of business, and we need to impact the same way, because when we talk about marketing, there's no difference between B2C from B2B, from the basis of marketing. Regarding, I remember to see a few time ago regarding the last mention from America Marketing Association, the definition of marketing, I remember that it ends on creating value. So even if we are talking about B2C or B2B, the main issue is to create value. If it is on an industry, a textile industry, or if it is an end user, a consumer with a commodity, we need to create value in these days. That is the difference. This is the global world that we live today is have a lot of things for the business that is very good, because I can easily sell to something that is on India or in Canada, but the same time it brings to a global world all the competition. So the main issue in these days that you don't have an alternative than differentiation. You need to innovate every day. I used to say that today is very easy to create a successful company. It's not easy with all the digital channels that we have, the impact that we can have on our target. It's from some way easier, but that is not the problem. The problem is that you have success every day, every year, decade after a decade. That is the main challenge, because you can open a company, a startup, and you can get to zero to success in a fast way in these worlds. But the problem is to maintain that every day, every year. That is the main difficulty. So the main objective in here is to create value. And if you have some marketing basis to a mindset of every day, you and your team to create value in everything that you do and in every customer that you deal, that is the main deal. So it's indifference if you are working with a consumer or you are working with an industry. The meanwhile and the mindset that someone that is creating a startup must have is you need to have innovation every day, a macro innovation, micro innovation, differentiation, and the mindset to create value on their customers.
Thank you very much, Rui, for your reflection based on your experience and your own companies. It was extremely valuable and helpful for early stage startups to understand how they can use the startup and personal brands and what's the difference between the B2B and B2C sector. And equally today we have two startups pitching their projects, and before they present their companies, I would like to ask their opinions and the way how they manage branding question in order to facilitate marketing activities. Now, I would like to invite Anna, if you can join our discussion, and also give you words about your personal experience. How do you use or not use personal brands in your particular project? So good evening, welcome to join our discussion.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Ana Diaz from Portugal. And when talking about personal brands, first I thought immediately about the digital communication and about my presence in the digital world. And I don't use it as much as I should, because I'm not a very digital person in that terms. But now that I was thinking about that, I kind of built my business, my personal brand directly and on the non-digital way and directly with persons. So if you go to the places where I work and the people where I live, everyone will know who I am, and my brand, it's only built in that way, not in a digital way. Maybe I should start if I want my startup to growth. And now that I understand, I will be consistent in the content that I create, of course.
Thank you very much for your reflection. And I'm absolutely agree with you that personal brand is not only your digital presence across social media channels or some digital websites or platforms. It actually starts from the way you engage with your real people in real world and your professional environments and your personal circles. So as I said, and even that engagement is no less important the way how you present yourself, your project, and you engage with your connections. So thanks a lot for sharing this. We were looking forward to seeing your pitch presentation very shortly. Now, I also would like to invite Joao to join our discussion. Joao, welcome, and please share your points on that.
Sure. Well, first of all, I agree with everything that was said until now. It's very important. Both Rui and Giovanni said that, of course, it depends on the case. The marketing that you need to apply is going to change how you apply it. In my case, I started from a company from the zero. I do products, so I sell products online. So of course the marketing is super important, and because the company started from the zero, I didn't have much money, so my strategy was very different from I suppose when you go directly B2B or another. I think I lost my camera. Can you guys see me?
We still can see you, yes.
Okay. I see everything black. Okay. But answering to the question, yeah, my brand is now Slava. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your question is how do I use my brand or how do I
Exactly.
market the
Your
brand?
personal brand, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do I use personal brands, not my own brand?
Well, both actually, if you use any of them.
Okay. Sure. My brand, I use it because, of course, I need to test it. Being a product, I need to test it not daily because I don't shave daily, but every time I do shave, I use my product, and we are always doing different products, so we always need to test different options. So I do use it. Another brands, I'm not I'm impulsion buyer, if you can call it like that. So I don't buy when I see. I might see other brands, think a little bit, study them, see if they are really the one that I like, and then purchase them. And of course, there is a big project behind that about marketing and everything that goes around those brands. Because if I search online about those brands, for instance, if they are SEO, and now talking about technical, a bit more technical, but if their SEO is low, I will not find them in the first pages of Google. So it's a reason not to buy. So I do search online, and marketing is all around the brands that I use, that's for sure. But I'm not a person that buys through ads. I normally buy studying a little bit the brand and making my decision after that.
Thanks a lot for sharing your reflection on that. We will watch your upcoming pitches very shortly. Thanks for your contribution and participating in our discussion. So thanks, and we are moving on. I also have quite challenging questions about marketing activities for early stage startups. And one of the points I want to highlight as well, and which can be quite challenging, that all the activities startup founders plan for marketing, it's kind of assumptions, based on assumptions. And it's also the question how to validate all ideas for marketing, all activities, whether it's cost of customer or cost of the lead or cost of any customer retention as well. So basically how to plan how much money need to be spent for marketing activities, how long it takes to attract some new customers and to get some engagement out of it. So all of these questions at very beginning of startup journey are quite challenging. The reason why it's also very important is because all of these assumptions usually included into business plan and some pitch decks when startup founders, they pitch projects to investors. And it's really also making a change depending how much money needed for marketing. It can affect overall investment need for a startup. So that's the question I want to ask our contributors today. Giovanni, if you can join our discussion and also give us few points about that, how to validate our marketing activities assumptions and how to understand how much money do we need, how much time we need, and beyond and beyond. So please join our discussion.
Yeah, I think that if you could avoid making any assumptions would be ideal. Obviously, when you're starting a business, you have to make some of those. And the only thing that pops in my mind at the moment is testing, test, because at the end of the day, you can make the most detailed and perfect and good looking with numbers marketing plan, but unless you are actually executing it, such as creating content, publishing it, creating your funnels, your marketing funnels, and running ads, and all the other activities that relate to your marketing strategies, I think that is just going to be a lot of talking. So what I would say is start early in the journey of your entrepreneurship journey, and start validating your idea, start asking questions, start to reach that specific audiences. Obviously, Joao would be an expert at paid ads since he's running an online shop. In general, again, I think that my word is context, because it really depends on the type of products that are being sold, and whether they are services or else. So in general, there are some metrics that needs to be taken in consideration. What I like to take in consideration usually is CPA, which stands for cost per acquisition, which represents basically the whole cost, the summary of the whole cost to actually get a client to purchase something, to follow through all of your funnel, whether it starts from Instagram and then it goes to an email funnel where you start doing email marketing to them, and then they will visit your website and purchase something. How long it takes for that? What's the average time? What's the average cost for you to run those operations? And yeah, I think that's the main metric to take in consideration. However, I think that it's also to bear in mind that at the beginning you want to first and foremost understand the customer and client psychology as much as possible. Not necessarily because you want to trick them or do something wrong with that, but because you really want to understand how they communicate, and so that you can speak their languages, and therefore you can position it and have that tone of voice in communicating and understanding their pains and problems or needs and wants, and then get their attention, hook their attention, and then follow through and sell them your products or your services.
Thank you very much, Giovanni, for your contribution on how to validate on marketing activities and make sure you're doing things right, what to focus on. Thanks. I think it was extremely valuable. And let's carry on with our discussion. And thanks again for staying with us. We will have our pitch presentations in a few minutes. And before that, I would like to invite our another special expert today, the book contributor and academic professional and expert, and the frequent guest of our sessions we run for our upcoming big project called How to Build a Tech Startup. Vadim, good evening. If you can join our discussion, introduce yourself first of all, and tell us a few words about your reflection on how to understand what's need to be done first regarding the marketing activities when some startup founders just building up some a plan for marketing activities, how it can be done, and maybe you have your own vision, what to focus on. Good evening. We cannot hear you yet, so please, if you can double check the sound. So no sound yet. but we would wait for your start. So yeah, as I mentioned before, it was we having the Vadim Grunevich from the UK today, the panel expert, book contributor, professor of entrepreneurship and innovation at the University of Wolverhampton Business School. So Vadim, we are waiting for you. There is no sound yet. Maybe you can double check the mic. But yes, we would wait for Vadim. And before we will start our pitch presentations, I want to highlight few another points to raise equally because they are no less important. So my point would be is that a lot of startup founders, especially with lack of expertise in marketing activities, they do outsource marketing activities. They hire some agency or some company or some marketing freelancers to help them to drive marketing activities. Or equally, some startups, they're trying to develop own expertise, own knowledge, and they're trying to do everything in-house regarding marketing activities, campaigns, and engagement with our customers and leads and all of these followers across social media. So I think, again, Giovanni, you can share your experience on that because you had so many examples of engaging with customers. We're running own social media campaigns. So what would be your advice? Is it beneficial to outsource marketing activities or you prefer to do everything in-house? Please join our discussion.
Well, there is a quote a mentor of mine used to tell me, saying marketing is too important to leave it to the marketing department. And it has twofold meaning. And I think that one of those is that there should be a marketing department for sure in every company. And when it comes to startups, there should be somebody that is maybe a bit more confident to be the speaker or the person who has no fear to publish content, to make videos, because obviously that's what everyone is looking at. That's where the attention is. And yeah, the other one is that even though there could be someone inside the team that is doing a great job and perhaps driving sales, there will always be a time when outsider eyes would be very beneficial with an objective view on what's working and what's not working. Because when it comes to marketing, a lot of the time we're talking about creative people, and I've seen that there is even on my own projects that there could be some type of attachment to some specific technicalities, or in a way channels, types of content, and so on, which can drive, for example, a lot of attention, a lot of likes, a lot of comments and shares, and so on. But at the end of the day, as a startup, you don't pay the bills with likes. So what really should be the case is to balance the two things, and as a founder, to plan in advance the fact that it's awesome to have a very good expert that understands the vision of the business, and that you can have very good communication with inside the team, but as well plan in the future to ask an outsider point of view, and if necessary, hire external consultant for that, because that's on the long term run, it is going to be the most beneficial strategy, in my opinion.
Thank you very much, Giovanni. Please stay with us because just in a few minutes we will start our pitch presentations. But before that, I really would like to ask Rui, please, if you can share your own opinion as well regarding what would be your advice to keep everything in-house and build up own expertise, or you would rather go with some experts from another company and to outsource all of these marketing activities?
Yes, thank you. I agree with Giovanni. Marketing is too important in a company, in a strategy of a company that wants to grow. So, in my opinion, in the beginning, because the resources are too small, of course, sometimes in my experience, you have to be one-man show. You need to do everything. I remember, I can share with you an experience that every time that I remember it, I can laugh of that. 20 years ago, when I start Altronics from the zero money, zero stock, zero clients, it was really very difficult. And I remember something like 6 or 7 months after I created Altronics, I have an idea, something similar with what we have today as a newsletter. Today, the digital newsletter works with very good content. It's very useful to company, but in that time, 20 years ago, we don't have newsletters. So I create my own newsletters. So I went to Word, I create a Word template, I printed, and it's really funny because I spend days every time that I remember to send a newsletter with a certain content about Altronics. I spend 3, 4, 5 days in front of a fax machine with the yellow pages in front of me, sending faxes with my newsletter to everyone, smoking 20 cigarettes per day, sitting in front of fax and sending fax. And it works. In that time, it works. It was my newsletter. So that was a very funny experience. And because I don't have money in that time for nothing else regarding some marketing strategy that involve some budget, you have to be one-man show. When you start to grow a little bit more, in my opinion, you can start slow. You can start with only one person on marketing, but in my opinion, the marketing strategy in some mature startup, I don't say a mature company, a medium company, but in a mature startup, you need to create marketing from inside, because of course you can go outsourcing that kind of service, but the problem of the outsourcing is no one knows your company, your mission, your vision, your proposition to the marketing, your differentiation, your product, as you know. So when you need to create content with value to your future customers or for your customers, you need to create very value content. And if you go outsourcing that kind of service, in my opinion, is possible, because there are some agencies very good, but is more difficult because for an outside company to know your business as you know it, as you feel it, is very difficult. I believe it is possible, but in my opinion, you can start small, but it's important that you start inside marketing, because no one knows more about your business than yourself.
Thanks a lot for your contribution, and thanks for coming back to these years of building up marketing campaigns based on fax messages. I remember that those times when one of my first marketing campaigns for my software development company was sending 200 fax messages to multiple companies. It was fun, actually, something similar to sending 200 messages on social media and engaging now all digitally. But at that time, it was much more tough to come through all of these obstacles, and technology wasn't there yet in order to help us to make it in one click. Anyways, thanks for sharing this story. And I think we are moving on to our pitch presentations. So I would like to invite Anna to start your presentation. Please That's your time, and you're more than welcome to share your screen, and we will watch your presentation.
Yeah,
If you need some time, let us know.
I will try to share.
Please.
Wait. Okay. Okay. I think you can see it now.
Yes.
Oh, it's sharing the. Wait, I think it's not working.
Okay, take your time.
Okay, I think now it's working. So I will present my idea, my project. This is soil return, and it comes from the problem that is the loss of 100% of the food scraps of the families. That it's nowadays a big problem, and the accumulation of these organic residues promotes the formation of molds and attracts various insects, mainly mosquitoes, and of course it produces unpleasant odors. And by this problem, I found the solution that is soil return, and the soil return presents an solution that propose a rapid composting process that solves the problem that is placed every day in food confection, such as organic wastes. It guarantees future sustainability since these organic waste re-enter the production cycle, returning to the origin where they will serve as a fertilizer and eventually return to the kitchen again in the form of fruits, vegetables, and reducing or eliminating environmental impacts. As it seems obvious, the soil return mark already indicates the project philosophy, which is to return to the soil what originates on it. This is the solution that is based on the use of residues resulting from the preparation of food and its transformation into fertilizer. You can see, I will explain the process that begins with the selection of food waste to be deposited in the container for receiving food waste, for example, fruits and vegetables or food waste, and followed by shredding and crushing of this waste. After this phase, the crushed mass will be submitted to the cone where the mass will run off in order to extract as much as possible its liquid component and increase the mass compaction. This then the wet mass will be dehydrated until is dry and turned into powder, and we'll have the fertilizer in powder, but additionally we will have the recipient that receive the liquid form that run off a liquid fertilizer. So we have a fertilizer in powder and liquid fertilizer. Here we have the business model Canva, but I will only enlighten the channels, the use of communication channels that will allow bidirectional communication that will be privileged, considering that it's essential to bet direct at soil return users. So it's important to not only to convey the essential message of the product, but also to capture the perception about their experience in use. That's why I also will enlighten the digital platform that is a complement of the soil return itself. And in the digital platform, there will be content where people could find answers to the questions for why should I use soil return, and how should I use soil return. And there will be content about that will create awareness of the importance of composting, but also will be a place where people can share experience about the use of the soil return. The target markets are the institutional clients, for example, city councils and association communities and intermunicipal communities. And also in business to business, we have the catering sector and similar, the hotels and industrial kitchens, and agri-food industry. And the business to consumer target, we have the families and unique consumers. The competition, although today there are already some alternatives to reuse bio-waste, domestic bio-waste, they are very slow to compost, so we kind of lose the nutrients. And for example, the home composting can go from 14 days to 1 year to have to process the compost. The competitive advantage of the soil return are the innovation, customization, status, because you can customize the soil return to your kitchen, so you don't understand we have something there. We have the risk reduction and safety improvement, the reduced costs with cleaning and maintaining the fertility at home gardens and city gardens, a useful solution to the environment sustainability, and to improve efficiency in the reuse of organic waste in industrial kitchens. Of course, the most frequent question is, I don't have a house, I don't have a garden at my house, so why should I invest in a soil return? And the answer is, you can have an additional income with that if you sell the fertilizer. And how much can I gain with that? If we see more or less the percentage of water that some organic products have, the average is approximately 80%. And so we can assume that to obtain 1 kilo of dehydrated fertilizer, it is necessary to accumulate 5 kilos of food waste to submit a composting process. And based on the World Health Organization, the recommendations for fruit and vegetables for a family of 4, they can produce 11.2 kilos per week in the kitchen. So that amount goes to more or less 491.57 euros that you can have from income. The team of the soil return for now is, I just have the marketing and communication, but we'll have the engineer department, the finance manager department, and the jurist department. And the roadmap now is in 2022, at the end of 2022, to develop and launch the complementary platform, that is the digital platform that will create the awareness and that I talked before, the equipment design and production at the end of 2022, and to have by 2023 the pilot test, and to launch to the market at 2024. What I'm looking for is a partnership with the company for the design and production of the equipment. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for your presentation. Now we would like to ask our experts to share the feedback and to ask if any questions. Giovanni and Rui, please join our discussion.
Do you want me to start?
Or welcome.
Giovanni, go forward.
But I was gonna say, because before Anna mentioned it, that she's not digital, but actually, trust me, you are more digital than you think. Because I know 16 years old that don't know how to use a laptop, and you just screened a presentation. So trust me, you are digital. Maybe you are more reserved with Instagram and so on. But yeah, my question is, how did you make a calculation of how it's gonna make money, basically how it's gonna be profitable? Because I think that's a key component. It might be frivolous, but obviously if you are gonna look for partnerships and investors potentially, I think that's gonna be one of the questions that you are going to be asked first. And another thing that just a consideration that I would add there, to really understand more about these startups and the idea, I recommend that you might use a storytelling approach where you actually say, this is Manuela at home. She's cooking for her kids. She is cutting this number of onions. This is the waste, and so on. From there, it's being collected, or it's being so. Using a storytelling approach will help you a lot to identify each step of the process, and where you are going to be fit in. So because at the end of the day, even the final consumer, partners and so on, would care more about how it's going to help them, and where it fits in their daily lives. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni. Maybe Rui, you can give us
Yeah.
the advice.
Anna, congratulations for the idea, for the business model that you present us. Thank you for that. That is a huge step for you, and congratulations for that. I agree with Giovanni, because one of the things that for me is one of the most value thing that you can work is this that Giovanni told us, the storytelling, because you have a lot of content for storytelling. Because with this business model, you can touch one of the best things that a brand can have, that the business model can have, that is emotions. You can go through people emotions, because you are in a business that what are you selling in these do you sell these kind of boxes? Because I'm not an expert on this kind of business, but in my idea, in my opinion, what you could be a storytelling, and the headline for the storytelling is, I am selling the saving the planet. That is what I am selling. I'm selling saving the planet. You don't sell boxes, you don't sell waste solutions, you sell saving the planet. And that is a storytelling that you have lots of work to do in that. One of the things that I noticed is, in my opinion, when we go to the market, we need to know that we cannot sell everything to everybody. It is impossible. Even for a huge company, cannot sell everything for everybody. With a startup, is exactly the same. So your target, your segments need to be very clear on your plan. And I believe your go-to-market must be for some of these segments that you show on your presentation. For example, you can start from hotels. You can start from industrial kitchens, for example, and then you go forward and you are going to grow your segments. So I think that is very, very important. The business model is very good, because you are doing one of the things very, very clear to your target. That is, you are doing business, you want to make money, but contributing to the planet, and that is a strong manage. You can say to your target that I really want to make money. I want to make this company profitable, but in the same way, I want to save the planet. I want to do something from the environment point of view. So that is very important. Another thing is the go-to market, and this is a particular opinion of mine. I don't believe in companies. I have some difficulty to believe in companies that have a go-to-market too long. A go-to-market from 2-3 years is too long. In my opinion, I have this concept that is it's better done than perfect. So, in my opinion, spending 2 or 3 years to go to market is too long. You need to ensure that. That is my opinion, and I think that is all. Congratulations for your work. The idea is in my opinion, I'm not an expert on this kind of business, but it looks nice. So let's go forward.
Thank you. My biggest problem is I don't have the product yet. That's why the go-to market it's now not soon to come, because I'm still working on the project. But thank you for the feedback you both gave me, and for sure I will use the storytelling strategy. That looks very nice. Thank you.
Thank
Feel
you,
free to ask
Anna. And
questions as well.
if that's okay, I would like to ask and maybe comment based on the previous discussions. I think you have amazing and great potential power of your startup idea, and the message you can deliver to your potential customers can be very strong. But there is a question which can be asked by investors as well. Why you decided to run this particular startup? What's the reason? How you came to that particular startup idea?
Well, I work I am from the communication area, but I work in the environment division of my municipality, and I always have this preoccupation about concerning the environment and to do something for the planet. So the idea actually comes from the robots, cooking robots, that is very similar. The process is very similar from robots of kitchen robots, and that's how the whole idea come up. Yeah, basically.
Thanks a lot for sharing your story. But I think again, if you can somehow link your experience and your story to the roadmap, how did you come up with your startup project? It's also can be very nice to know for your potential users, customers, for partners and investors for sure. Because as previous experts mentioned before, you have very great mission. So I believe there are so many experts and partners who will be happy to support your project on the way and also provide you resources you need. But at least we need to kind of make the highlight of this message across marketing activities. Thanks a lot. And definitely we can follow up and discuss more in detail. So now we have another startup pitching another project. Joao, welcome to join our session. And please, if you're with us, join us and be ready with your project.
Sure. I look already excited because the tips were really good. So I look excited to share my pitch with everyone. And yeah, I agreed completely in the points that were said, especially the one that you need a prototype. I passed through that challenge. Even now, I'm still trying to find my mission. And Rui was mentioning the mission is very important, save the world. And my product is similar to or it has a mission too. So these are definitely very important topics for a startup. But let me share my screen. Okay. Not sure if you see my screen now.
Yes, we see.
Okay. Okay, so you are seeing my screen. That's right. Hello.
Yes.
Did you lose
see your
me?
screen.
Because and like this, it's better like this, no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So first of all, my name is João Gomes. I'm one of the founders of Tatara Razors. Tatara Razors, it's basically a company that produces shaving tools, shaving products, and we try that these products are the most efficient and comfortable for the men of the future. So we create these I would say premium tools because they are made with noble materials, and they unique selling points are the performance, the quality of the machining, or the finishing, and of course we give life warranty of these products. Here is our product in lifestyle. So we use it for shave, as you can see in the photo. Another one, so this basically it's a product in fully 100% in stainless steel that comes to replace the disposable razors. Disposable razors, as you guys know, it's a big issue for the world, especially because tons of plastic goes every day to places that they shouldn't. And the cartridge razors and the disposable razors, like the toothbrushes, they are an issue that we all want to solve. This is another products from our line, so a shaving bowl and also a stainless steel brush. So at the end of the day, we are building the shaving set for a modern man. Okay, this is a little bit about our product. Of course, everything is made in Portugal, done by us. It's an eco-friendly product, as I said, because the goal is to replace these disposable razors, and we give lifetime warranty. And that's something incredible that the other razors don't have. So it's a big plus. A little bit about us. So me, I'm João Gomes. My two other partners, André and Luis, we met in Porto, in the city of Porto, studying for a Master of Mechanical Engineer. Both of us were passionate about product development and building our own company. So we kind of gathered to build these products because it was not me actually that wanted to build this product. It was André. He was a user of these products, but he saw that there must be a better way of doing things. You can find already these razors in the market, but they are normally in materials that they get oxidation due to be in constant use with the water, and also they are badly done with chemistries and another non-healthy ways. So a little bit about our brand. As I said in the beginning, we started from the zero. Very important for us was the customers that we had, and that the product was, I guess, good because the customers came out, they went and review it, they made YouTube videos, and we suddenly discovered a community that was passionate about shaving, and they were our, let's say, they were our best marketeers because they were publishing things about our company, about us, about our products, without paying ads or without any fees. And that's something very important for every company. So a little bit more about the company. This is our sales around the world. The biggest market for us, it's definitely USA. Of course, Italy is also very important. Italy, UK, and a little bit more shy, also because we are in a range of a premium product, and unfortunately, Portugal is not a country with a big power of purchase, shopping power. Let's put it like this. So we have a smaller slice on the market for Portugal, but we are changing that too. So for a timetable, and I didn't do a timetable for 40 years, of course. I showed here how did we started. So we started with a prototype, very important what Rui said. I completely agree with him. It doesn't matter if the prototype it's perfect. It's important we have it out. And once we had the first prototype, and for us maybe it was a little bit easier than for other people because we studied mechanical engineer. My master was in product development. We knew how to machine in our case, and these products are CNC machined. So we were quite fast building the prototype. Then we had a period of incubation in a startup incubator in Porto, Portugal, called UpTech in 2017. And that's what really made the difference for us because we had a prototype, we had now the basis and how to build a company, and then we started the sales. If you see here in my timetable, only in 2020, we started the digital marketing. It was late, I would say, but this was also because we were a company do it yourself, a one-man show. We were trying to do, and we are still doing ourselves a lot of the tasks. And that's why we took a while to go to digital marketing, because we learned, we teach ourselves, we studied how to market these products. And of course, the last year and the COVID was very important years for us. Surprisingly, we increased a lot our sales. I say surprisingly because with COVID, we didn't know what to expect, but people was more at home. The digital increased, the people bought much more. And of course, we are an e-commerce brand, so they end up buying more products. And for 2022, I will go further on that, but we have a big goal of grow around the world. And one of our strategies for this grow is going for retail partnerships. So since this is about marketing, let me tell you a little bit about what we see as important marketing for us. We split it in three big areas: in organic marketing, ads, and the physical marketing. So the organic, it's the one that we believe is more valuable, because first, if you, of course, it has a cost, because we have to write the text, we have to find photos, we have to speak with people, speak with customers, but it's also the one that converts better. It's also the one that the people feels more comfortable to buy. For instance, I'm definitely an organic buyer. Like I said before, I search, and then if I like the product, I would buy. Of course, the ads in the second phase, and the physical, it's something that we are trying to enter more in for the future. So it's our marketing strategy. If we look to these topics here, we have been in all of them, but not on the ones that have the arrows. So the ones that have the arrows, so ads on Reddit and ads on YouTube, and starting to go to fairs, also to contact more with the retail space, starting going, instead of B2C, going to B2B. It's one of our goals to grow the company. So the challenges, in this moment, Slava, you asked me, what is the challenge of your startup? We have a lot of challenges, of course. At this moment, this is the one that I'm working on, and I'm trying to understand, and I'm even going to webinars to see how can we solve this issue, how to grow out of the niche market. So my company had a big advantage that we launched a product for a niche market. And the niche market has this power that once your product is in that niche, people will start talking about, and everyone knows the product. And if the product is good, they will buy it. And this is how we grew until now. But now we want to go further. We want to reach the people that doesn't use this kind of razors. We want to give him and pass him the message that these razors at long term actually will be even cheaper than the disposable razors. It will be eco-friendly, and there are a lot of advantages to it. You will have less razor burns, less irritation on your skin. So we want to start doing this kind of communication for people out of the niche that doesn't know what is these razors, what are these razors. But yeah, then it comes the challenges. How are we going to reach the new audiences that will allow us to grow out of the niche? Who is the audience? Is this really the audience that I mentioned? Or it's another audience that I'm still not, I'm still not sure which audience we really need to go to grow the brand. And of course, we also talked about here, should we keep B2C, business to consumer, or should we go to retail space and try to grow the brand? Because we know that when we do that, our margins are also much lower, but of course you reach more people. So these are the big challenges that my brand, my company is facing now. And that's it. I hope you guys can give me good advice.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Now we have our discussion session with experts Rui and Giovanni. Welcome to join our discussion. So please share your opinions.
Rui, I guess your turn.
Okay. Well, João, thanks for the presentation. Very, very nice. I have some notes here. One more time, your mission, it can be a great storytelling, your mission, because one of the things very important that you mentioned is we need to get loss of all these plastic that we use in our day by day. And the disposables razors is one of these examples. And in these days, it doesn't make any sense anymore. So you have a very good product. I will buy it for sure, because that is really, one more time, one emotional business that you can have if you can pass to the market the right message. And I think that is really, really very important. So marketing have a big job in here that you need to do. Regarding another thing that you show in your presentation, very, very good, is your marketing mouth to mouth. The marketing mouth to mouth in these days are very important. And when we want to grow a brand, the mouth to mouth marketing is really very, very, very important. So regarding marketing, I believe you can bet a little bit more, creating a storytelling that can goes to a more successful mouth-to-mouth strategy. From other way, one of the things that you know better than me is you have lots of competition all around the world. So you need to focus a lot on what is your differentiation. What kind of value do you want to bring to the market? So that is one thing that I think you need to work about, because the message that you will bring to the market will make the difference. So that is very, very important. What is the value that you bring to the mission? And one of the things very important that must be on the value that you bring to the market is, of course, what we said, the saving the planet one more time. That must be one of the messages on your mission, one of the message on your differentiation plan that you need to have, because that is a very important issue, is a very important issue that the consumer in these days appreciate, and including they are the consumer wants that from the brands. I have mentioned that is from me, that I used to I say lots of time that is for a long time the brand analyze the consumer behavior. Now in these days is the consumer that analyze the behaviors of the brands. So everything changed. So the behavior of a brand is very important, and it can goes to from success to garbage in 1 week if the right message is not well worked. At last, in my opinion, you need to get scale. That is very important. And in my opinion, that is only possible through retail. That is only possible if you work a lot the retail. Of course, like you says, João, retail, you are going to go low on margins for sure, but you are going to go high on scale. And scale have one very important thing. It reduce your manufacturing cost, and that is very important. You will go to the retail with a low margin, but with time, with scale, your costs will be lower, and you can be more profitable because of that. But don't remember one thing. There is a quote that one CEO. I remember to see that in the internet somewhere. A quote from a CEO from a big retail company in US that says, "Retail is detail." And this is very important, even from the company that wants to go to sell to retail. It's a very difficult market. It's a very difficult customer to deal. So you need to be ready to deal with this kind of customer. If you want to make a big deal with Tesco in the US or Walmart in the US, you need to be well prepared for that, because we are in Portugal. We have a problem in this mega beautiful company, that is, we are not prepared since we born to think big. And that is a problem that many companies in Portugal have. So if you want to go to Walmart in the US, you need to go with a big mindset, and that is only possible if you prepare you and your team for that. And with that well prepared, I think you can go, because it looks like you have a very good product, you have a very good message to the market. You can go through there, and I think you can have success. So let's go forward. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Rui.
Thank you, Rui.
Giovanni, join us.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, I totally agree with what has been said so far. Couple of things. I agree on the fact, especially that you have to necessarily be the outlier of the whole competition, such as showcasing why you are different. And from the presentation, you gave us some scattered reasons why. I'll give you like a quick tip there. For example, you could just make a graph saying, this is Wilkinson, let's say, or the typical razors, and you say all of the things why, or what the things they do or they do not, and on the other side, you. So it's a bit like a competition graph, and you can do that with plenty of brands, and showcase for each one of those why every one of those potential clients and customers should choose Tatara razors. That's just one of the gimmicks, let's say, there to market in presentations, or it's an idea for content and so on. Another one still remaining in the context is definitely video. You showed us snapshots of the videos. I would have started with the reel of all of those videos, like short 3 seconds of those from each of those, and it would have been a lot more impressive and definitely catch the attention better. And that's a great way to also see that those are reels, because at first when we saw all the pictures, I'm not sure about the others, but I was confused for a second. I thought it was more like memes or something like that. But great idea for sure. You are on a great position to scale globally for sure, because you already have reviews online without even asking for it. You have all of this exposure organically, which means, and it's the proof that you have a great product. And obviously it makes sense, since you guys are mechanical engineers. So I'm sure that you invested so much time, energy, and money into the product itself. So obviously when the product is great and you are doing as well, even a minimum of marketing is gonna be out there, and it's gonna make plenty of sales. So if you already are in this position, I think that with a little bit more help, either by hiring someone else in your team, which is mainly focused and absolutely driven by the same vision as you guys, but that does everything just as detailed as you do, all the engineering of the product, that will do the marketing and the ads and the PR related to your products. I think that you definitely are on a position to scale globally, since you already are. And yeah, with that as well, I would suggest to start with retail, and be very thoughtful and careful with agreements in each country, taking consideration expenses and shipment costs, etc. Obviously, I'm not a finance guy, but where I want to go is, don't rely necessarily on retail only, even if you are gonna get such big partnerships. I think that you should always continue to have a great relationship with your actual customers, and continue aiming on selling even more than how much you sell on retail online, because that's what's gonna bring the most value to you. Because you don't just want to sell products, you want to build long-lasting relationships, because maybe next year you're gonna have another line of products, and if you already have 50,000, 100,000 emails worldwide, trust me, it's gonna be much better to sell these new products. And yeah, something else I wanted to say. Yeah, the messaging you mentioned at the beginning. These are razors for modern, and then again as well, there is a lot of sustainability related purposes for this product. So I guess that there might be a challenge there to decide whether you're positioning more for the modern type of man, because these are two different, I think, which can be combined. You obviously can do that, but I would be very careful in that, so that you know what's the main reason why people are buying from that. And there is no better way to understand that but actually asking who already bought that. So I would go big on data. Sorry for the play of words, but I would really invest a lot of time to really go and again through all those videos and reviews, and ask them what was the main reason why you purchased it. Because of the sustainability, or because you love those kind of products, because they are manly, or because they look like samurai things. I think that the more you understand why people are buying these products, and everything around that, the best you can market to them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you,
I
Rui.
would like to ask Joao if you can
you, Giovanni.
comment. And a little question from my side. Do you use your product as well? All of your team?
Yes. Yes, I do use it, and it's wonderful. No, thank you so much, guys, for all the tips. I have to agree with everything that was said. Even if I didn't agree, I would definitely work on them. But yes, it's in line with we, not only me, also my partners are thinking. It's definitely they were definitely tips important that we want to work in the future. The point, Giovanni, that you just mentioned about to really understand who is your customer, we struggle it. I'm sure many people struggle to find this, but the people in the niche, we know who they are and we know why they buy. But the person that will buy for the future of this market, if we grow the market, these people that we don't know who is going to be, then is where we have our doubts if it's going to be people that is supports the sustainability, or more business people, or the modern man. So yeah, those are definitely hard questions to answer, but I'm sure we will work on that, and we will find an answer.
Yeah, a final note on that, because I also took a note of it. I would say go all in on the type of clients you already have now. Like
Okay.
I know you guys are ambitious. I can already tell, and you absolutely should, because the market is telling you that you have a great product. However, I would say try to squeeze as much as possible the current client base type that you are already targeting, because you might have already some tips and reasons why they are buying. Like, look at why they're buying those current ones, and model it in a way that you really exploit the maximum out of it. And then you start looking at the next audience. So you can make a group of, for example, as you mentioned, the modern man, the sustainability modern man, perhaps as well, and another that you mentioned as well. So I would say focus on this one that you're already selling. Like, really make a list of qualities that you find in each and every client, because that's what's going to help you make paid ads or create content and so on and so forth. And then after that, when you know, okay, we actually targeted everybody, we sold to everybody in this audiences, now you go and make the research for the next ones. But I think that you already have a lot of possibilities in your current market target.
I agree.
Thank
I
you.
agree with Giovanni. One of the things very important that Giovanni explained very well is too many companies always asking why I do not sell more. A few companies only ask themselves why my customers buy from me. What is the differentiation? What is the value? Because one of the things that sometimes it happens, it is the difference between the quality of our product that we understand and the quality that our target, our consumer, what is the perception of our quality. Sometimes I have one perception and the customer have another completely different perception. So completely agree with Giovanni. It's very important that you have reviews, you work on mouse to mouse to understand what is the value that your actual customers understand from your product. What is the quality that the actual users understand the quality when they use the race. So that is really very important, because that will give you tools to make the next steps on production, on marketing, on finances and everything.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
just last thing that popped in my mind.
Sure.
If you say that you use the product, make a video of yourself and show it at the beginning of the presentation when you say your name. This is me using Tatar.
Okay.
My name is, I think
Yeah.
that's also a great start. I would go for that, like, for the next
I have
speech,
it,
100%.
Giovanni. It's absolutely true. We do have the video, the real video, where the customers are saying good things. If you search in YouTube, I can send you the link. We have it, and actually, that video is a video that converts the better for the ads. Also, I have a video of me shaving, so you can also
Social
see
proof. Yeah.
in a YouTube
Yeah.
channel. But yeah, that's definitely true.
Wrong. One of things important, if I can help you on that for something like 2,000 euros, I can send you a video of myself shaving.
Exactly.
All right. All right. Thank you
We can
for
plan.
any.
We can plan. Sorry, Slava. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your contributions. In case any one of our viewers wants to make a shaving video for Tetero razors, please get in touch with us. We will match you together. So you might get new fans and followers of your product and service. Thank you. Thank you, Joao, for your pitch. And we have to move on because that's a quite interesting discussion we have today about marketing strategy for a startup. We just had 2 pitch presentations from 2 early stage startups, and some of them, the last one was a bit more mature, but still there are so many challenges as we discussed. And now I would like also to highlight the question, which is definitely coming to many startup founders during the startup development. So the main point, usually most of the times we have to compete on very crowded market. So my question I want to highlight and ask our experts today, if you come into very competitive and tough market, we're definitely looking for some interesting and innovative ideas how to be outstanding on the market, whether it's a product, marketing activity, sales, and beyond. So maybe based on your experience and maybe the way how you managed your company development, what kind of tips you can give in order to become not just like average company, as you mentioned for our startups, that you need to be ambitious, you need to be, kind of ready for a quick move and for big move as well. So maybe then now you can give some advice on how to be outstanding on the market. So not just to be mentally, but also in terms of your company position, how to be outstanding on the market, and maybe some tips or advice how to make it, whether it's marketing activities or your just company strategy. So, Rui.
Well, it's very difficult in these days to be successful on the market. It needs a lot of work and consistency. For example, in Portugal, last time I saw it, most of the companies, the media, the mean time that they last from the moment they born until the company dies, it takes 3 years. So why, in my opinion, empirical opinion, that happens is because it's very joyful when we start a company. Everyone is with a lot of motivations. Everyone wants to work 18 hours a day if it's necessary. The problem is after 2 years, after 3 years of that, is to know if the motivation is still there, if the innovation is still there every day on your working day. So for me, that is the big issue, and that is sometimes the problem, is that from the beginning the consistency is very high. Meanwhile, with the time passing, the consistency will go low, and that is the main challenge for startups and young entrepreneurs that need to understand that to create a business with some kind of success, it takes time. It needs a lot of consistency and, of course, a lot of work. With one important thing that you'll need to have in all your journey, that is, you need to join to have a successful company. You need to join to the best persons from your side, at your size. That is very, very important. You can't create a successful company if you don't have the best with you. Alone, you can be the best engineer, the best doctor, scientist in something, but the best that you can do alone is creating a 1 million euro company. You cannot go further than that. If you want to create a 20 million euros company, you need to have the best ones with you by your size every day, with all that I said before, the differentiation, the innovation, but always with the best team at your size, because alone you can go faster, but of course in a team you can go much further.
Thank you, Rui. Maybe Giovanni, you can add some lines about the same question if possible.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that it's been noted that startups, especially at the beginning of their journey, they have to change ideas, they have to implement different strategies, adapt, and be flexible to changes in the market, in their own ideas, because of finances, because of plenty of reasons. And there, I think that I agree with Roy that the team is what should always be the foundations of the company. The team and the people that the founder and the whole team is surrounded by. And yeah, again, consistency, definitely it's about the connections you have, whether they are motivating for you to do more, whether they're actually pushing you to do better and to be continuous in your effort. With regards to how to be outstanding on the market with so much competition, I think that the simple answer is go look at your competition, your direct competition, and see what they are not doing, and then go do it. That's the simple answer to that, which can be super effective. Because, for example, if Tatara, if you're selling razors, go check Wilkinson. What are they publishing on their social media? Yes. Which one they're not publishing much? Pinterest. Then go all in on Pinterest, and you will see that you will find clients there, and you will definitely be the market leader in there. And probably in a couple of years they will realize it and join there too. So yeah, that's just one example of how to market our content and be outstanding in your market, or at least in that specific niche. The more complex answer is definitely do a continuous research. Try to evaluate the right data and never stop learning and questioning the why people are buying from you, and because that's the asset that you should build on, the reasons why people are buying, and continue developing products that people want. Because yeah, we can be very passionate, we can be super obsessed about creating something, but if it's not what people want, and if it's not what people need, at the end of the day, it's just going to be a super beautiful or useful product, but that nobody will buy. So yeah, really listen to your customers and build long-lasting relationship using every channel possible, or the most suitable for the type of product or services you sell.
Thank you, Giovanni. We have two more questions, which I really want to cover this session because we have such an insightful discussion today. And thank you very much to our experts who joined us and to our startups who pitched today. But before I'm asking you the two following questions, I want to highlight my opinion in case you can also reflect on that. I think a lot of startup founders, they really focus on early stage goals and they expect super quick results in, let's say, in 6 months, in 1 year. But looking to my approach, I really focus on a planning of decades, how my company should look like in 10 years time and what's need to be done. And I think quite often the problem with competition landscape becoming less important simply because most of the companies, they not exist anymore in 10 years time simply because of lack of consistency and a lack of being patient in the long run. It's quite easy to be very active and super productive in very short term and delivering some quick results. But if you speak about years and decades, it's becoming much more less crowded because less people are willing to spend 10 years of their time to bring something valuable to the market, especially because of some of the company goals are not aligned with the life goals of entrepreneurs. And as soon as it's aligned and you see that actually it's something you want to build in the long run, it's becoming much more fundamental and much more a long-term delivery rather than just waiting for instant results. But Giovanni and Rui, give me your reflection on that if you disagree, or maybe you have some own approach on that.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you said. It's go at the same level that I talked before. It makes sense. One of the things that I see a lot is the problem is the consistencies that is not exist. Is one more time is very easy to achieve success in a short time with working 20 hours per day, working good and fast. You can go there. The problem is continue that year after year or decade after decade, because you need to understand that you can work 20 hours a day. I work 20 hours a day sometimes in the past. The problem is you can work that kind of strong day when you have 25. When we have 40, you can't work 24 20 18 hours a day. You have a family, you have kids, so you need to do the same in 8 hours, and that is the problem, because the motivation will be different. So the consistency is very important. And I can add a little quote that is not from mine. It's from a CEO that everyone knows, that is Jeff Bezos, that he says you need to have an obsession from the customer, for the customer. That is very important, because if you are not going to the market with an obsession to create value on your customer, it doesn't matter if you sell razors, if you sell cars, if you sell a service, if you sell washing machines. You need to go to the market with that mindset. You need to create value. You need to have an obsession for the customer, an obsession for the differentiation for the customer. And that is important. And one more time, that is very simple to do on the first year. On the second year is not so easy to do it after 10 years, after 14 years. And that is the main issue that can differentiate the companies with success in the long term, or the companies with success that we know that in 5 years, 10 years will disappear from the market.
Thank you, Rui. Giovanni, maybe you can add something as well.
No, I absolutely agree with you and what Roy said, especially with the fact that it gives a lot of perspective on the fact that it's totally true when we are in our 20s, it's a lot easier to get obsessed and actually work that much, and then things get on the way. And so I guess that it's absolutely crucial to have a long-term vision of perhaps even a decade, because it will give perspective on what needs to be done now with the current resources. And I think that it's underestimated how much time is available to a lot of founders, which perhaps instead of focusing on their ideas and really getting the work done, they might be focusing on how much are they going to get from their pitch deck, or adding it in their financials, and a lot of many things that, in a way, the moment that there is a minimum of humility and drive, and start asking questions to other experts or people in that specific market or field that already done it, is gonna help going a lot faster and more steady, because you will understand what were their challenges. So if I have to give a suggestion for that, is definitely go and ask questions to people related to your field, to experts, without any fear of judgment, because they have been just exactly where you are right now. And like it's been said, you're gonna stand on the shoulders of giants. So that's definitely the thing I recommend everybody to do who wants to build a startup. And yeah, create a big plan, but start humble, step by step, and yeah, just move forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Giovanni. I just want to reflect one comment. When I get calls from customers I met 10 years ago, and they make a call and asking, do you still provide the same service? I'm like, yes. Why asking? And they get surprised, because they say, like, 10 years time, it's a long time. Maybe you're already not in that, kind of niche or area. And my question is always like, I'm not changing my direction. It all goes the same. So I think that kind of approach may help to early stage entrepreneurs to understand and see how this current project is aligned to their life goals and objectives. We have 2 more questions to highlight, and I really want to cover them during this session. Very briefly, I can ask Giovanni and Rui, please, because we discussed about that before. I want to ask you, definitely a lot of startup founders, they're looking for new customer growth, but we discussed before that it's very important also to keep an eye on engagement and relationship with existing customers. So my question to you would be, how would you advise to run some marketing activities for customers retention, and make sure that your marketing activities not only focused on building up relationship with new customers and attracting new markets and new customers, but also to make sure your existing ones are satisfied and they kind of feel that they are not lost and you still focus on them somehow. Rui, maybe you can start if you have any example from your experience.
Yes, it's a difficult task, but one of the things that is very important that most entrepreneurs understand it is that it's always easier and cheaper to retain an actual customer that achieve a new one. And sometimes that I noticed in the market that there is many times an obsession to get new customers, then new customers, then new customers. And people don't understand that working on the retention of these of our actual customer and getting that the lifetime value of our customer can go higher, and the medium ticket per customer, actual customer, we can do some activities like cross-selling, upselling, and so many others that we all know that can increment our medium ticket per customer. And that what in the first place that what we need to know in our teams is that we need to invest in the retention of our actual customers and go lower on the budget to get new customers. And by other hand, one of the things that I believe that is one of the big mistakes that companies do is a mistake that is so easy to accomplish. That is, many of the companies don't do one simple thing. That is asking their customers, their actual customers, why they buy from me, and asking them what is the differentiation that you see on my product, on my service, on my company. And another important question is, after this question, is asking our customers what a simple thing: what can I do for you? What is the best way that I can help your business to grow with my service, with my product, with my help? And so there are so many marketing strategies that we can work, and regarding marketing, you can search online and you can see a lot of actions that you can have, of course. But this is very important to understand our customers, to understand very well everything that is regarding our business, our ecosystem, our, in these days, omni-channel ecosystem that we have in our company, and explore that, but with the integration of our actual customers, integrating these customers on the business strategy, not going by your only thoughts. I think this is the right way, so I go through there. Don't do that. Involve your customers, your actual customers, on your business plan, on your marketing plan, on your sales plan, because in my opinion, they will give you insights that you never get there by your own. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much, Rui. Giovanni, we have 1 minute left for this reflection. If you be very quick and precise, please.
Community. I think the key word is community here, because if you are buying, for example, for this type of product, you're buying you're buying it once. Okay, maybe you have another product and you buy that too. But I think that the great power in this case specifically lies into being able to refer other people. So I would go only in there in referrals, and use community. And this can be applied for any type of business. If there is a strong community where you are actually communicating with them on a scale and daily. For example, they are all they're following you on Instagram, and it's so easy to actually see in the comments of some of your posts somebody who's saying, yeah, I have this product, I love this product. And then from there, starting maybe a referral campaign saying everyone who's referring a friend is going to get, I don't know, a 50% discount on it. Or I think there are plenty of strategies there. But I would focus on community building, community with your own clients, and use referrals for it, or giveaways. There are plenty of strategies, but I would definitely start with thinking long term and creating communities of clients where you can communicate with them on a scale and on an informal way, more than a formal way. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Giovanni. And I can completely agree with you. Based on our Elegant Club community, we met with Giovanni in 2016, and he's still here, as we see all of us. So that's a great sign of that the community approach works and it's validated. So thanks a lot for staying with us. One more and last question, because if there are a lot of challenges on the way cover today, but I really want to ask you to highlight the few points about do some startup campaigns fail and what are the typical mistakes in the startup activities. What can be done in the wrong way which damage your company reputation and maybe some of your business objectives you can highlight in order to make. So yeah, if any contributions about the typical marketing mistake, Rui, please.
Yeah. So many marketing mistakes that we made. Principal when we are young. Principal when we don't have so many training on marketing, but we need to go to the market. But for me, one of the big mistakes is when we start a company, normally we want to sell everything to everybody. And that is a huge mistake that many companies make. By other hand, since we don't so many time, in the last telling you that, Slava, one of the big mistakes is not to make mistakes. We need to make mistakes in life. We need to make mistakes in companies when we start companies. I make a lot of mistakes in my life, but one of the very important thing is to learn with that mistakes, because there are so many things that we don't learn in school, we don't learn in a university. We need to learn by doing, and that is very good. So my suggestion is go forward, make always the first step, and then see what you can improve. But in the middle, you are going to make mistakes. Learn from that and go further, even better.
Thank you, Rui. Making mistakes is actually the good thing, and I completely agree with you. Learning by doing is the key. And Giovanni, very tough question to you because we covered quite nice insights today. Please, if you can contribute to a few more mistakes to avoid.
Oh, I absolutely agree about definition of mistakes and the necessity for growth. It reminds me of a quote saying that the worst people never learn from their mistakes. Great people learn from their mistakes, but the best people learn from others people's mistakes. And it goes back to asking feedback in questions and doing your research and knowing more than others about your market and your products. Having said that, I think there is one reason why many startups fail at the beginning, and that's exactly the positioning, where they're maybe using their brands looking or trying to look as big companies or as they are already established, missing out that phase of vulnerability shown to their potential clients, shown to their audiences, to their potential partners, etc. And yeah, trying to look big when instead it's actually the fact that you are starting small against maybe a big competitor that is going to drive sales for you.
Thank you, Giovanni. Nothing to add. We had quite insightful discussion today with Rui Fonseca, Giovanni Muller, two startups, Soil Return and Tataro Razors. Thank you very much for your joining tonight. And it was a big pleasure to have a discussion about marketing strategy for a startup. I hope it was helpful for our viewers. In case you get any questions, feel free to email to info@telegent.club. Thank you very much, everyone. We're still live, and I'm switching off our guests from multiple countries. It was today Malta and Portugal. So thank you very much, everyone. So yes, I just want to highlight a few words about our live broadcast today. So as I said before, Today we had a discussion about marketing strategy for a tech startup. My name is Slava Barnovsky. I'm the host and presenter today. If you'd like to know more about our community, about our club, please join our website, elegant.club. You also can take a look at about our upcoming book project called How to Build a Tech Startup.com. You're more than welcome to watch, and definitely join our next session. Next week, next Wednesday, 6 p.m. London time, we will have a special event, which also will be a live broadcast event, Sales for a Tech Startup. Welcome to join us, and it's a pleasure to have you, and welcome to see and looking forward to see you next week. Thank you.